Nick.
Hey, Tom.
Hey, I was kind of doing some research over the weekend, and in the last 20 years in the Big Ten, I could not find a single Big Ten quarterback who was a true freshman who didn't have a spring, who had any success at all, playing quarterback in this league. And obviously, you guys have experienced that with Donovan. How much of this is just on his performances so far has just been just a total lack of time to learn the quarterback position on the college level?
Yeah, I think certainly that's a developmental position. It's an interesting stat. I didn't know that. It's a long time, Tom. Yeah, I mean, certainly it's a challenge to play quarterback in this league regardless of your experience based on the quality of opponents that you play. And then certainly when you couple that with just getting here in June and not having quite the time on task, that's a challenge. But, there's things that happen in the game Saturday that shouldn't occur whether you were here for, 6 months or 3 years. And those are the things that we focus on. Certainly, we recognize there'll be some ups and downs throughout the course of the game, but we can handle a snap, we can handle an exchange, and that has nothing to do with our opponent or the quality of the teams or the coaches or the players that you go against. So that's really been the focus, here in the last few days, is just trying to eliminate those mistakes that obviously hurt our team and has hurt our team all year. So until you have to eliminate losing football before you can start playing winning football. And we obviously didn't do that, and quarterbacks were part of that. Other position groups contributed to that as well. But Donovan's great. He's going to be a really good player, and we'll just keep chopping at it and keep trying to help him. And every snap he takes is a learning experience for him, and he's got a lot of good snaps ahead of him in his future for sure.
With Jack coming back and playing, I mean, one, just what was your evaluation of what he did during the game before he got injured, and also just how did that dynamic end up going last week? We obviously asked about it going in. Did that end up taking away a lot of development time for Donovan during the week? I mean, just how did you try to handle that situation?
No, I wouldn't say that. I would say that the reps, I thought Donovan got plenty of reps to try to prepare him. I think as the week progressed, Jack was getting healthier, a little bit quicker maybe than we anticipated. And so you split out those reps pretty evenly, I would say. I'm sure I didn't look exactly at the number of snaps, but I would imagine Donovan still had more throughout the week of prep because we weren't anticipating Jack to be maybe as healthy as he ended up being by the time the game came around. I think the number one job of the quarterback, and I know I've said this to you guys before, is to take care of the football, and we didn't do that. None of those guys are intentionally trying to put the ball in harm's way or turn the ball over, but it doesn't matter. That's our job. And we have not done a good enough job, and that starts with me in the coaching and teaching to make sure that we don't turn it over like we have. So Jack's a great kid and a super tough kid and showed a lot of grit, a lot of heart of not just trying to get back, but fighting his tail off to rehab and recover to be available to play. And I appreciate that about Jack. Certainly the results weren't what he would want or what we all would want. And we recognize that and we address that and we try to correct that moving forward. But Jack's a warrior, and I'm proud of him.
Yeah, Coach. I mean, you knew the running game was going to be a challenge, obviously, last week without Steven, but 2 games left. I mean, how do you kind of salvage that, in these last 2 games and, kind of take some pressure off Donovan and some of your other quarterbacks?
Yeah, I think we need to run the ball more effectively, certainly. You got some new runners in there and making sure that, we catch the snap and hand the ball off without turning the ball over. Obviously not good. First play of the game, we turn the ball over. So that cannot happen. So, that's the first and foremost focus is eliminate the bad football. And then focus on execution and making plays. So we definitely got to run the ball better. I thought there were some good runs in the game. I thought some of the young runners, Charlie and David, they did a nice job on a few instances. We need to build off that, and we need to make sure that we're putting Donovan in positions to where when we do ask him to run, there's there's enough space and we block it properly and get him to run the play properly so that, to your point, you're staying out of third and longs and known passing situations. So certainly a running game is a young quarterback's best friend, and he's a part of that. Some of the lack of execution, the quarterback's responsible for some of those things as well relative to reads and decisions, and so we just got to be better there.
Yourself and Coach Allen have mentioned that explosive downfield plays are a substantial portion of the offense, and DJ Matthews proved to be a good, speedy downfield threat against Cincinnati prior to his injury, and Wapfilier had a similar ability before him. Has the offense lacked that deep passing and its ability to threaten the defense since his injury, or are there other factors that have limited the kind of deep passing game?
I think there's a lot of factors. I think we have skilled players that are capable of stretching the field vertically. And there's a lot that goes into that. When you call a play and trying to push the ball down the field, it's all 11. Everybody's involved in that. Certainly starting with the protection, then the quarterback making the right read and decision, and the wideouts creating the separation. Early in the game, I think on Jack's maybe first play in the game, we called basically a post route, and Malachi Bennett was wide open and ran right behind the defense, and we weren't able to connect on that. So everyone's involved in that. I wouldn't certainly the players that you mentioned, are quality players and contributed and helped us in those areas, but we have other guys that are capable of that, and everybody's responsible for that, coaches included, that we need to connect on those certainly more and better than we have.
David Holloman had some moments on Saturday. Have you seen that in practice? And I wanted to ask you also about the 2 interceptions by Jack. What were the mistakes there?
Yeah, David has shown that. He has been an aggressive runner since he's gotten here. I think he did a nice job on the kickoff as well. And he's a downhill, fast kid, has a lot of courage, a lot of toughness. He's decisive as a runner. And he keeps getting better and better. I thought Coach McCullough did a great job of preparing him. He was a young player that really wasn't getting a ton of reps with, the travel team and the ones, and then all of a sudden now he's, getting prepared to go play, and I thought he did a nice job. And then with the 2 interceptions, the first one we had a play action pass, and we were late in the flat and threw the ball to the flat player. And then on the second one, it was a deep ball. Ty ran a vertical throw, and I don't know if Ty was able to track it quite like you'd like. And Jack was trying to throw a one-on-one vertical throw, and the corner made a nice play and played the ball a little bit better, than we did. So that was really what happened on those 2.
Going into the last couple of games, Nick, do you just focus on trying to do what you've done better, or try to do some things a little differently, that things that haven't worked? And then secondly, Dremel, was his success that he was having just the product of being late in the game against lesser players? Because he looked like he was pretty comfortable out there.
Yeah, to answer your first part of the question, certainly you evaluate it all, things that you can adjust. I think the biggest issue with Saturday is that we had a lot of plays that lose you football games, dropping a snap, missed exchange, throwing the ball to the other team. So regardless of the schemes that we run, we can't do those things. And then, if you can alter schemes or add schemes or run, auxiliary plays that you feel like help you, certainly we're open to that. And then I thought Grant did a nice job. He executed the plays. He made the right reads, took the right drop, threw it to the open guy. He wasn't perfect. Certainly he had, areas that he could improve on. But I thought he did a nice job in the game. Okay, thanks, guys.